Hi everyone, I'm Priya Somani, a storyteller, counselor and a child mentor, and here I am to help you all to raise yourself as a parent. So let me begin by quoting an incident that I witnessed a few days ago. So I was sitting in this park enjoying the fresh breeze and the nature, and there were these two little cuties who were really enjoying in that park, playing in the grass and on the swings. Their mothers were sitting on the side chatting and letting their kids play. Now while they were playing, there was a small step there which they had to cross. Now listen to this, like how they're different breeds of parents. This one mother, she quickly got up and she ran towards her child and helped the child cross that step, lifted the child, and she was overly protective and was like, oh, are you careful? Be careful, don't fall, you'll get hurt and all of that. This other mother did not move at all. She was sitting there quietly and carefully observing her child. Now this child also had to cross the step. Now how does he do it? He tried. He stood there for 2-3 minutes, just kind of gathering the courage because obviously he was feeling scared about it. He looked at his mother. The mother just smiled at him and he started moving towards that step. He tried taking that first step, but he fell down. The mother did not get up. She was observing him. He looked at his mother. The mother kept smiling, so he did not even cry. He got up again, now trying to cross that step. Now this time he thought, let me just crawl towards it and I'll be able to cross the step. But in vain, he could not do that also. His mother did not move. She kept looking at the child and smiling. Now this child got up again and this time he was more determined to cross that step. There was a little pole next to him. He held the pole with one hand, took the first step, held the pole with the other hand, took the next step, and finally crossed that step. Then the mother got up, she went to the child, she hugged him, she appreciated, she clapped for him, and she was really happy that the child managed to cross the step himself. And so was the child after he listened to his mother, and he was really happy that, hey, I did it. Because the mother kept telling him that, hey, you did it. Now what's the difference? The end goal was to cross that step. Eventually, both the children did that. But how did they do it? Now let's think about it. There are some parents who are overly protected, overly careful, and they would keep their kids in a shell. There's nothing wrong in it. But the point is, in the process, are we trying to hamper their own growth? Are we trying to stop them to figure out their way themselves? While there's this other set of mothers who are there for their kids, who are very caring, who are compassionate, who are very empathetic, but they let the kids figure out things themselves. Now this actually reminds me of my counseling class, where our teacher would always tell us that don't give the fish to this person, teach them how to fish. Similarly, when it comes to kids, why can't we teach them how to fish instead of giving that fish always on that platter that the kids don't have to work for themselves at all? Don't you think when the mothers or the parents are always available, overly available to rescue their kids actually get clingy? Then they don't feel the need to figure out things for themselves. They don't need to find any solution because their mother is always ready with the solution. They don't need to explore. Their growth remains unexplored. Their thoughts remain unexplored. They don't get the chance to really go all out, fall, get up, do things by themselves. I'm not saying that don't be careful. Be careful, but don't get overprotective. Eventually, these kids, they are very smart. They are born with so many possibilities themselves that they will eventually figure it out. Of course, the parents need to be there and the child needs to feel a sense of security that, yeah, my parents are always there for me. But I need to find this way myself. Don't you think there's a difference? If you get something very easily, as opposed to working hard for that thing, how's the feeling in the end when you actually receive that thing? Don't you feel more content? when you've worked so hard for that thing and eventually you succeed in getting it? Same thing happens with these kids. We need to give them that exposure to find out things themselves. Be there for them. Be there to help them whenever it is required. But don't go and help them when it is not required. Let them figure out. If they can't, then maybe guide them. Give them cues, give them hints, suggest ways. Maybe you can try this, maybe you can try that. Be a mentor in their lives. So think about it. What kind of a parent are you? Are you a nurturer who's there to nurture their needs? Who's always there to empathize with what they're feeling? Who's always there to guide them? But you maintain that distance where you give them a chance to explore themselves? Or are you a rescuer who's always ready for this rescue mission, ready to help the child, whether it is required or not required, whether he's asked for help or not asked for help? Think about it.